cohesive linking words accurately and appropriately. Hi there, my name is Ben Worthington. I'm the owner, manager, and dog's body, as they'd say, or gopher of IELTSPodcast.com. In this tutorial, we're going to look specifically at using cohesive linking words accurately and appropriately. So with linking words, we've got firstly, secondly, thirdly. These are quite straightforward, and as you can see, it's quite straightforward for the examiner to follow. I think these are fine when you're starting out. Okay, later you can start using more sophisticated ones, but these signal where you're going with your essay. They're also good for your speaking, just as a side note. So this is a great way to start off with, especially if we've got a sequence of events. Now, another way that we can use cohesive linking words accurately and appropriately is repetition. Now, repetition gets a bad rap regarding IELTS because some tutors say, oh, you should never repeat. And there is some truth to that. However, we can definitely repeat concepts. Here's a good example. So instead of saying lawyers, we can say legal experts. We could say law practitioners. And there's repetition there, and it's crystal clear who I'm talking about throughout the entire paragraph, and I'm not repeating the same term. So this goes back to, it helps the cohesiveness of the essay. Now, another way is demonstratives, but you need to be careful when you're using the demonstratives. Demonstratives are words like these, that, this, those, right? Definitely don't use them at the beginning of your essay, because at the beginning of your essay, the examiner, the reader, has no idea really what you're talking about. We cannot take it for a given that they've read the question. We've got to assume that they haven't. Obviously they have, but we assume they haven't. We don't want to take that assumption. We don't want to assume that they've read it. So what we do is we include specific words in our introduction. However, later in our paragraph, we can use demonstratives, and these just help to refer back without having to repeat the same terms. Here's, like we did, these legal experts. That's a demonstrative, and it's referring back to these lawyers. We've put in legal experts there as well, just for clarity. But maybe we don't have the word for legal experts, so we could just say these professionals. Okay? And there we've not only varied the language, but we've used some of these demonstratives. Okay? Now, as a word of warning, be careful when you're using the demonstratives. Listen to this paragraph. They have proven that it is a dangerous phenomenon. In fact, it has accelerated and is becoming ever more unpredictable. This is the view of most of the legal profession regarding global warming. Now, this paragraph, this sentence, is so full of demonstratives, we've got no idea what's going on until the very last two words. Right? So this is why we've got to be careful with demonstratives. We cannot assume the reader knows what they is and what it is. Okay? It's very unclear. And this is an example of reader strain. I've got to hold all this information in my head until the very final two words, and then it becomes clear. So here is a better example. Lawyers have proven that global warming is a dangerous phenomenon. In fact, it has accelerated and is becoming ever more unpredictable. And finally, with regards to use cohesive linking words accurately and appropriately, it's not just these nevertheless, however, those are okay. They're a little bit basic, but they're okay. If you want to take it to the next level, and we talk about this in more detail in our online course, but it goes throughout your whole essay. So for example, here we've got the introduction, and as I mentioned in the previous tutorial, we've just mentioned our examples, and then we're going to refer back to them again. We're going to refer back to the points we've made, okay? And this is cohesion in action, yeah? So jailing obviously refers to tried and tested. World's oldest forms of punishments is tried and tested again, so we're referring. And then we develop it. Punishments dissuading criminals. The benefits of society, again, as I said, sometimes we have to repeat, okay, is this system, and then we're talking about this system. You can see, but we've got in black, in bold, in black, we've got the topic-specific vocabulary, okay? We're keeping it on topic, and it's all relevant, it's all coherent, it's all tied together. And again, we're going back to tried and tested, and we've got it going through the whole paragraph, okay? Even again here, we've got US, and then we've got, for example, in the US, so we're developing it. And then we've got a slightly newer idea of the cost, the finance. And we're talking about the budget, the cost, the money, and it's all tied together. And then again, we're finishing with jailing. So here we can clearly see a high-scoring paragraph and how it all ties together. Okay, there's no new ideas there. I don't suddenly start talking about France or whatever. You know, it's all ties together and it all links together. So this is why cohesive linking words are definitely important. Okay, but if you want to go to another level, we can talk about linking it through with like a common thread of the same idea throughout the entire paragraph, and that's a fully developed, high-scoring paragraph. Now, this might seem a little bit tricky, okay? However, when you've got some templates that show you exactly what to do, what to include, you just have to drop in your ideas, and it becomes so much more straightforward. And that's what we focus on in the online course. We focus entirely on these templates, generating ideas and dropping your ideas into the templates, and it becomes straightforward, automatic, and easy. And this is why I said before, like, the IELTS exam isn't as hard as you might imagine. Once it's broken down and once you're applying a system to it, it becomes so much more straightforward. So thank you for watching, and good luck with your IELTS exam.